Sebastian Khalighy, co-founder of Casinolytics. Great to have you here on the Spotlight episode today. How are you, Sebastian?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, man. I've been following the journey. We've been talking for a long time, and it's been great to see the rise and rise of Casinolytics in the last couple of years. And the topic of today is what you have learned from watching and analyzing 10,000 hours of casino streaming. That is a lot of hours, Sebastian. But I want to start here by just asking for your introduction here for yourself and for Casinolytics.
Yeah, so my name is Sebastian. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Casinolytics. Casinolytics is a data science company that utilizes AI to have this kind of SaaS service where we track brand awareness, product popularity, and streamers within the live streaming market. And this is kind of served through a SaaS service, a analysis suite that is used by game providers, but also streamers. And today we are working basically with many different game providers, but also selection of streamers that are using. So a couple of examples, Pragmatic Play, Evolution Group. We are working with newcomers like BGaming and also Print Studios. We have Games Global. I mean, a lot of different brands that are utilizing our services today.
Yeah, it's exciting to hear the growth journey that you're on, Sebastian. But I would like to hear a little bit more about your own background as well. I mean, I remember you used to work for NetEnt back in the day, and you have a long history in the industry. And kind of what made you interested in casino streaming in the first place?
I come from a marketing background. Generally, I've been working in different industries. I've been working in banking, in retail, and then at the end of the day, I ended up in the iGaming industry in 2012. And my role at NetEnt was the global brand manager. So I've always been kind of interested in data and also understanding the why, you know. But essentially, I started watching live streaming. I mean, got interested about Twitch, always been interested in like influencer marketing in general. So I think that was like the starting point for me. And I think that to this story, I think it's important to understand as well that it's two co-founders of us. It's me and it's Johan Sandén, who is the other part. He's a more technical person. He's a musician. He's a lot of different things. But collectively, we have 30 years of experience, and we met during NetEnt, and we both found like live streaming very interesting. 2017, we were working in the same team. And for me, having the kind of the data side of things here, there was this one product that was outperforming Starburst by 100% in the CIS region. And when I asked this, like, why is this? And I didn't get any kind of good answer to this. I started to kind of looking into live streaming, and this is 2018. And what I found out was like the biggest Russian-speaking. He was Russian as well. So, but the biggest Russian-speaking streamer had that particular game as its favorite game. Right. And what we found out, which is so interesting, is that he influenced other Russian-speaking streamers, over 30 of them, where they were playing this particular game. And this game was his particular favorite. I can't mention the name of that game. Evolution Group knows what the game is, but that was a really kind of strong epiphany for me. It's like to understand, like, holy shit. To be honest, it's like what kind of impact, and it's outperforming like the numbers with 100%, and it's a random game.
Yeah.
So that was like my side of things, and for you, and I mean, you need to understand the product, right? I mean that's kind of you need to understand what you're developing towards. So he started streaming in 2018. And the interesting thing, what he came up with kind of is like, so I have no idea what I'm streaming. I mean, I had the kind of the brand perspective, but he didn't know what he was streaming, because to the story, till this day, there is no category so that you can understand which slot game is being played in real time. In that category, there is a lot of Twitch has a very powerful API, and there is a lot of free services so you can understand. So which was the biggest influencer here that was streaming this particular game during this day and so forth. So there's a lot of KPIs. But in the gambling industry, we don't have anything. Nobody knows which is the biggest brand out there on the live streaming service.
Right. So you can just see how many hours have been streamed in casino games in general, but you can't see how many players stream this particular game or this particular service provider.
And that is like the backbone of our service. So that was the problem that we identified, and we both. I mean, this is a passion project. Yeah. To be honest, I mean, the whole Casinolytics, it's born out of passion, and this is also like the topic, as you said, like 10,000 hours. Yeah. But this is what we do.
Yeah. And how would you say, Sebastian, the streaming space have developed over the years?
We have kind of different phases as we usually internally talk about it.
Right.
But I think that like you have the early days, like the first streamers during the .com era, as we both are very familiar with as well. Yeah. When you had like unlimited deposit bonuses and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, that was the time where the first streamers started to arising, like 2015, 2017, and still a couple of them are still streaming today, which is great. So from 2016 till like 2018, that was when viewers really got eyes up for like casino streaming as an entertainment format. So new viewers started, and this was mainly Twitch. I think Twitch accounted like for 99% of the total reach, the total viewership when it comes to casino streaming. So that was what we called kind of the rise of when people really were. So people, when I say people, I mean streamers. Streamers really started like starting to doing this kind of content, and and viewers liked it. And it started to grow. And from 2019 and onwards, I think that we have seen really kind of the big boom in casino streaming. But one of the most significant changes is that until 2021, I think that like the majority of the streamers that were affiliates. In 2021, big cryptocurrency-focused casinos started to arise. In 2021, we saw XQC started streaming gambling, and other major players as well. In this case, I'm talking about Stake. And that this was like the transformation of influencer marketing hitting the scene on the iGaming market. And the most thing, like in 2024, I think this is the year when the industry has started to accept, to be honest, that streaming is a part of our industry for real, that we can talk about it. So let's be honest and let's talk about it, because it's kind of, this is just how it is. I mean, influencer marketing has been around for a decade or more. I mean, remember in 2010 when you can send some merch to somebody would write a blog post. I mean, it's different times today. But the most important part from what we have learned is that the viewers don't care. The viewers are there, and they are totally fine if somebody has an agreement with a casino or a game provider or anything. That's fine.
Yeah.
And that it's transparency. It's like, yeah, I'm sponsored by these. Well, perfect. Good for you. Yeah. I'm here to watch you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such an interesting space, Sebastian. And we can all agree that casino streaming is hugely popular, and the popular streamers are obviously influencing the viewers to take up the habits that they have and play the games that they play and so on. Yeah. And I suppose the interesting thing here is to how do you extrapolate that? So how do you understand how much the streamers are influencing their crowd and so on? And I know that you guys have been hard at work by implementing AI and machine learning into your product. And it'd be interesting to hear you talk a little bit more about your thoughts on AI and machine learning and what it can teach us in the habits of casino streamers, and what kind of data ultimately your customer gets from that.
I think ultimately what our AI technology is. I think that we need to understand the problem here, like first and foremost, and what we see machine learning and AI as a tool to replace humans to do something. And in this case, the choice that we had basically in 2018 and 2019 when Johan started experimenting with this was to replace with humans to watch, like to take notes on a Google spreadsheet or anything. So what we did basically is basically that the AI, what it does is that it identifies in real time what slot game is being played by whom. So that is what it does. So we use that to fuel in the data into our databases. And this is where I come. There is a lot of different, I think you need to it's a complex product to understand, like, how do you create a great product market fit in this? And this is the question that everybody has been asking for years, is like, how to create the next Starburst. Starburst had a great product market fit.
Yeah.
Book of Dead, I can be talking about this for hours, Book of Dead had a great product market fit. Sweet Bonanza had a great product market fit. Gates of Olympus had a great product market fit.
It wasn't just luck, essentially. There is a formula.
I think that there is probably a formula. And also what happened with Wanted Dead or Wild from Hacksaw in 2021 when it was released. I mean, they're all over the place right now. I mean, so was that luck? I think to a certain degree, timing is earned. I used to like to talk about, like, there is a certain level of luck as well, but you can increase the odds of creating better luck, you know,
Exactly.
or creating better timing.
Yeah.
And this is why, so in terms of machine learning, I think that there is a lot of fantastic companies out there that are trying to do a lot of studies around player behavior and analysis on patterns. It's like these products work towards these different markets and so forth. But I think that what you really need to do, and which we have done, which is also the topic of this is to put on top of the qualitative analysis, which is by actually studying players. And I've been in this industry. We always talk about players, but I have never understood who the players are. I've never seen a player study, because I think that one of the challenges we have is that data isn't shared with each other. If you have a great player study at Betsson back in 2005 to 15 or whatever, it's like
back in the day,
you didn't share that with anybody. That was your property, you know. And I think that hasn't kind of come out, and that is a little bit what we are offering as well with our partners, our customers. To help them to understand streamers. Yeah. And this is important. So I'm talking about streamers, but streamers, they are influencers and they influence others, which is natural. So when it comes to the AI, what we are doing obviously is, like, we are constantly improving the predictability, and right now we're also looking into how can we make future predictions, and that is kind of interesting.
So it's kind of like you're trying to kind of break down the game and to understand its success or its failure to some extent with the data that you're producing through the streamers.
Absolutely, and I think that you can see different trends there as well. I mean, it's very much about visibility. We live in a noisy world. I think we all can agree on that. And we live in an oversaturated market where there are released, I don't know how many slot games a month, but everybody wants to kind of break through the noise. But I think that you need to have the data, but you need to also do your qualitative analysis and take a shot sometimes as well to succeed.
So to the big question and to the topic of today, you know, what are the most interesting learnings from your own experience of watching 10,000 hours of streaming combined with the data that you produced through the Casinolytics product? Yeah,
that's a very good question. I think how we have kind of got, it's many different levels, but I would say, like, overall it's very much about the user experience. So first thing, when we're trying to identify a target audience, you need to break them down, obviously. So what we have done is, like, it's different motivational factors that we have, like, targeted them into. What is the behaviors and drives within these players? And we also need to think about, like, streamers, they transcend this kind of behavior into players as well, because they're influencers. If Taylor Swift is wearing a red hat, well, I might as well want to wear a red hat, you know. So that's one of the part. The other thing is like the overall user experience when you add the product on top. It's like, so, okay, these types of players are attracting these types of features. And very much about the overall user experience, how important that is. We live in a world of where UX is on everybody's lips, you know. It's like everybody's talking about UX. It's so important, and UI and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, so essentially, it's entertainment for money. You need to get your user experience correct. So that's part of it. Then it's a lot of details. It's like, okay, we talk about milliseconds. You need to have the correct amount of sequence when you're winning. This type of win presentation works better for this type of player type rather than this, but also in combination of the brand that you are, that you're the brand that you're famous for, and the brand that your players think that you are. So it's also about very much about branding in this case. But it's very much about tuning. Details. It's craftsmanship. And that can probably, to a certain degree, be replaced with AI and AGI and God knows what.
So do you think, like this, as a sidetrack, do you think eventually that the AI will take over game development completely?
Could be, not completely, but I think that will be much more efficient game development. I think that you can probably, with the amount of credits, you could probably put in a math model and ask it to tune something already today. Yeah. And you have a math model that you have a highly successful game here, and you pour it in with there is a lot of credits with today that you can utilize and you can learn from it. So it could work even today, but of course I think that you need still the last piece of the puzzle, which is because what we need to think about, the end users are still humans. They are not AI. So that kind of human try to transcend yourself into players and their minds and how they will experience that. I think that there will need to be some kind of human level, absolutely. But in terms of cost and production, I think it will go much faster.
So you're putting your money where your mouth is, obviously, in the sense that you have collected all this data, you have experienced 10,000 hours worth of streaming, you have learned a lot, you have the background within that, and now with the data with the data points that you have now chosen to move into game development here with the partnership with BGaming. Can you talk more about why you chose to move into game development again, and perhaps almost like you're going full circle here in a way?
Yeah, exactly. No, but I mean, essentially what we are consultants. I mean, we are offering a service to our partners, the ones who we're working with. So this is something I was looking through some documents yesterday. It's like, I was like, I had this in a business strategy in 2021 already, basically the first year operating the business. So it felt kind of natural, I think. But I think that with the quantitative data that we have, by understanding as well, like which features are the most, so to say, watched and liked among streamers, that's kind of one vertical. We have tagged a lot of different kind of data points to understand more on a deeper level. Going back to, so I think that we understood that we had an edge because we have been watching streamers so much. So with the data that we have, understanding which are the most popular products, why are they popular, among the streamers from different brands, and also that we have break down our data in terms of understanding more features, which are the most popular themes, even though that we probably don't think that themes are one of the most important. It's more the mechanics that is the core and the most important part in a product. That we have kind of break down, and then we had the analysis that we said, like, okay, we think that we really, and this is my sales pitch basically to her. So essentially what I said is, like, I think that we can help you to create increase the odds of creating a successful game.
Right. And so you formed this alliance with BGaming, and you create the latest game together with them. Can you talk about the partnership with BGaming? Why did you choose them? And can you also talk about the game itself that was developed and perhaps the result of all of this? Because at the end of the day, you know, you can have ideas, you can have, but the proof is in the pudding. So
I think it's nothing exclusive actually to them. So I mean, this is something we have mentioned. So, and this is kind of why this is important. It's like a little bit. I mean, I remember I need to kind of tell you a little bit about the background. I remember that before BGaming became our customer, they just reached out in May, and I got an email basically from Kate Buteyko, who is their marketing director, and she basically said like, we want to work with you guys. I was like, okay. It was there, and then we had a meeting, and it's like, send me the invoice. I was like, okay, perfect. So what am I trying to tell with this? Well, basically they had a mindset that they are extremely curious as a brand. The people they have a mindset that they want to experiment. They, you know, I mean, we have been talking about it, like they work with a lot of different kind of data verticals and everything, and they were so curious about this, and that was the first thing. Then they teamed up with Scatter's Club, which is a player community on Discord. They started doing player research on games that they haven't been released, and that was like the starting point. And they were as any other customer, but then in early 2023 at ICE, we said like, okay, we're going to pitch this and say it like to a couple of ones, like to say, well, we can create games together with you if you want to, and let's talk about it. And so I did with BGaming, and it's like a week after, let's go. We have a meeting next Monday. So that was basically, so I think that they are extremely open to new ideas, and I think we need more of that. Yeah. I think it's important to have an open mind for new ways of tackling things.
Yeah, so many companies are stuck in a routine, I think. And especially for a creative organization, like all the game developers are, being able to have that flexibility and thinking a bit outside of the box is so important if you want to create the next hit, I think.
Yeah, I think it's important to have these kind of characteristics, and there's a lot of other companies out there as well, of course. I mean, but I think I was really kind of amazed about the willingness to try out new things.
Right. And so can you talk more about the game itself that you then ended up developing together with BGaming?
Yeah.
So talk more about the process of developing this game together with the team, and then, of course, it'd be interesting to hear the outcome of all of this.
Sure. I mean, it is usually, it's like, it's not so kind of different from when you're creating a game. Obviously you have an idea and so forth, but I think our process is first to understand the brand. So we did a lot of research before coming up with the concept itself, to understand who their players are, which other titles are their most popular ones, are they stronger in cluster lines. There's a lot of different kind of these kind of stuff that we looked at, and then we said like, okay, give us a week, we'll come up with a concept. And this is much like we do in Figma. You start with the overall kind of thinking. Who is the target audience? What is the feelings? You know, going back to the analysis that we were talking about, like this is the feelings that we want to evoke and all that kind of stuff. And then obviously you make a high level outline of the mechanics, and then you design the different mechanics, how they should be. And then we have had a meeting, and I think that for this particular game, what's unique with it, but also one of the kind of features that are one of the most popular ones among streamers is Sticky Wild with insane multipliers. And this is a cluster game with Sticky Wilds. Then if you can line up them, you will have unlimited wins. And we have even seen a kind of one spin max win on the game, which is fascinating. Mm-hmm. But anyhow, so that's the starting point, and then we work together. Every week, you know, it's back and forth, tuning. Really early, you need a prototype so you can try, because it's impossible to test the mechanics or the math, but you can get a sensation of how it feels, how the game plays. And they are developing the game, they are doing the visuals and all that kind of stuff, but we work more as a consultant, giving them feedback on the game and what we think will make the game better for streamers. And it's been a great collaboration since day one, because it's very open mind, and we are very open, and we like to keep this. It's like, okay, that's what you think, that's fine, let's put that into consideration. I mean, and they are exactly the same, and I kind of love that kind of attitude.
Yeah.
Of course, you can have different opinions, but then you agree, and then you move forward. So yeah, it's called Aztec Clusters, and it was a fun project, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah. And what was the uptake then of the streamers? So you designed this game specifically to be streaming friendly.
Yes,
and,
I could say it, to attract them, to make it a fun game. So this is, as I talked to you, but we don't have time to talk about all these different analysis. But I mean, it's something that we call the build-up. It's how the game is designed. It's building up the potential. Yeah. It's not kind of unexpected. It happens like that. It's like it's building up.
So essentially, you built this game to be designed for streamers, to be streamer friendly.
Yes.
But I'm curious to know, what was the actual result when the game was released? Did you get the uptake that you were looking for? What was the feedback from the streamers?
Yeah.
And many games they come and go kind of thing.
Exactly.
What was the result on a commercial level?
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I think that from a screen, how we design the games, it's very important, as I earlier talked to you about, like the overall UX, the UI, everything needs to be clear. How do you create this kind of feeling that you want to evoke among the streamers? So that has been, and it's also important that we did some player testing on this on real players, not for their own money, obviously, because it wasn't released, so there was no transactions. But that was the best feedback as well. So we utilized their kind of process as well in this game. And yeah, it was released on February 1st. You never know by yourself. I had no idea. I was like, we said like, okay, well, we are really putting in everything here. We was like, if this becomes a flop, I was like, holy shit, I didn't bite my tongue. But yeah, essentially it turned out really good. And there is a lot of different things, like it's designed as well to it's a very high, let's say, it's a very high super bonus buy where you get guaranteed wilds, and I think it's 1 in 110 to get a max win, so it's a max win machine as well. Never had max win myself during testing, obviously. Unfortunately not. I think my highest win is 2,500, but that's great. Keep in mind, it's really hard. But yeah, it performed really well from a streamer's perspective. I think that it was like the top 5 game of new games released in February, both when it comes to airtime, which is the number of minutes streamed, but also reach, which is the total viewership. So, I mean,
that's awesome.
That's one thing. The other one was that I think it was top 25 when it came to airtime. So number of minutes streamed by streamers during February. Out of, I think we're tracking 2,522 games, or 2,622 games today. So, I mean, top 25 is awesome. And also, the reach was top 30, which is the total brand awareness or viewership or,
Yeah, so what you proved with this essentially is that you can break down the game mechanics. Like you can break down what constitutes a popular game from a streamer perspective that then permeates down to the players essentially. So it's been, as I said, you're in the right time, in the right place. You have carved out a niche in this industry that is really special. And from a personal level, I really enjoy watching you guys and seeing the success that you've had. And I wish you all the best of luck in the future.
Thank you very much, Pierre. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Awesome.